Garrick, congratulations, your second
Thank you.
PGA Tour victory. Kind of looked like it came from nowhere, but didn't really. It was kind of a hard one to explain. But
Yeah.
how did it feel for you out there?
Yeah, I'd say obviously if you're looking from the outside, it does look like it came out of nowhere. But I've kind of been trending, I'd say since Cabo last year. Obviously, like I said earlier in the week, I've changed my swing completely, and obviously I've had to deal with some injuries. But it's been a lot of good things. I played well in Savannah a couple of weeks ago. Um, Played good at Torrey in the wind. I've steadily kept improving. So
I guess I want to ask you how satisfying it is, like to come here, having only played a handful of PGA Tour events this season, but a few Corn Ferries,
yeah,
to come here and get the victory this early after all the issues that you've had.
yeah, I'd say it's definitely a bit of a relief, but I've truly enjoyed the journey of obviously it was definitely hard to take, finishing 135 on the FedEx last year, but this is unbelievable, and this is why I play the game. But the journey, I'm gonna go through it down again. Everybody does. I'm gonna have ups. I think I've just truly enjoyed the journey.
And speaking of the FedEx, you moved to 64,
Yeah.
so you made a good jump today. Just talk about your round out there. Like it seemed like the putting was the hardest again, just with the wind. But
Yeah.
what was the special thing for you out there today that you
Yeah,
did well?
maybe that kind of played in my favour. My ball, obviously I've been working with Sean Foley now for almost 2 years, and that was a big thing for me. Like I said, we completely changed my swing. I can probably tell you 12 things that we had to change, and it might sound bad, but it was pretty much a stakes change from what I used to do. And anybody that plays the game competitively knows how hard it is to change even just one thing. So to have changed everything, deal with injuries, and then kind of come out and start hitting the shots that I know I can hit under pressure, it was unbelievable.
You set a lot of records for this tournament today. You're the youngest winner to ever win it. You're the first left-hander to ever win it. You're the third international player. What does that mean to you to achieve those things along with a victory like this?
I mean, those are just extra things, but yeah, it's just great to win. I guess it doesn't matter what records, or it's just awesome to win.
So can I just I need some other questions to hear that I just got to pull up from my
Garrick, what were two of the biggest things you and Sean worked on for your swing changes?
Yeah.
All 12, one or two or three?
Yeah, so I used to be pretty cupped and narrow with a shot face, and then I'd kind of whip it inside and flip it to hit a draw, which obviously that in itself doesn't sound very consistent. And now I've got a really wide left arm, I bow it, I've got a weak grip, so the opposite.
Garrick, besides the win, what are you most proud of this week?
Just my fight, my caddy, Austin, he was great. This is only our second week, but he was great. We just kind of kept it light, and I just stayed aggressive. I like playing aggressive, and he helped me with that. So, yeah, I mean, I knew I was going to have a chance. I tried to birdie the last three. I'm sure everybody else did, but the golf course didn't really allow that.
Winning's never easy. What sort of advice now would you give to yourself, the young Garrick Higgo from maybe 5 or 10 years ago?
I think he wouldn't have really expected to win when I won the first time. That also, I guess, if you weren't looking, came out of nowhere. I think I won 4 times in less than a year. Hardly played in Europe and won over here. And that was obviously a massive jump. I was still living with my parents in South Africa, and all of a sudden, you're playing with Brooks and everybody week in, week out. So I've definitely grown a lot. I feel like I understand the US much better. I'm more comfortable here. And I think this time around it'll be different. I think I'm going to keep going and keep playing well.
When you win, a lot of things have to go your way, and just looking at the spot right out here,
Yeah.
where a couple of days ago maybe you hold that shot from behind the green on 9. When you look back and reflect and you remember shots like that, is that going to rate pretty high? And
I'd say
others...
so, yeah. Austin said, all right, let's hold this. And I've worked really hard with James Rudyard on my short game. it was a nice wind in out the right. Just hit a nice flop shot. I knew I was going to either clip it high on the face, come out low with spin, which was going to work, or I'm going to hit the ideal shot. Like, I knew I had kind of insurance on that shot. So it looked harder. Obviously, it still was a hard shot, but my short game has been really good. So
Was there a shot today that stood out to you?
I'd say the one on 18, looking back now, I didn't know what Joel was doing, so maybe that helped. Well, I knew he bogeyed 16. I didn't know what he did on 17. So I guess I'm looking back now, the shot on 18, but there were so many. Like yesterday, the 4-iron on 17. I hit an unbelievable 4-iron on 14, the par 5 in the first round after driving in the trap and laying up. And I made birdie there, which, from like 220 meters to hit it to like 15 feet is something that exactly why I started working with Sean. So
You said you didn't really know your position. Did you or Austin, did you feel like there was something going on, that you were close? Or
Well, in Savannah, I also didn't know, and then I think I told him, like, I'll enjoy knowing, and this time around, I asked him, and he told me. So, like, after I made bogey on 14, I asked him what was going on, and he said, we're only one behind, which I really liked, because then I knew. It just gives me fuel, like, I don't know, some people, I guess, there's always a thing, oh, don't look at leaderboards, but to me, when I'm playing with my mates, like, I know what's going on, so it doesn't change, does it?
what drives you and motivates you as a player?
Just, I think, like, watching Rory last week, I think just, hitting great shots, seeing, just being in the fight, that's the most fun. So, like, being injured for most of last year was, I think anybody that loves the game, being out of it and not having it, it's not about the money or, like, winning. It's just about being there and competing. So
When you win this tournament, you become a king of Corales. So it's everybody that wins is a king, and they're all very proud of their champions. How do you feel about that?
yeah, that's
title?
awesome. I'll take it. I'm not the king of anything, so especially not in my house. My dog and then Chandra, my wife. So they've got to fight for the kingdom there. I'm not a king there. So yeah.
And just looking ahead, next week you're in the field at Zurich with good friend
Yeah,
Ron
Foxy.
Fox.
Yeah.
How do you think that
I
is going to play out?
I'm playing nice. Foxy's playing nice. I know he didn't go his best this week, but he's been playing great the last 2 years. Yeah. And I've sneaky had some good finishes there. Gracie and I finished 4th, and Foxy and I finished 4th there last year. So I don't know if it's me that plays well, but I seem to do all right there too.
And we've talked about it earlier in the week, and we got to get the final. You said you were going to wear a Detroit Tigers hat.
So
What's the deal?
I've got a reason for that. So this is the best hat in the wind. So that hat's great, but the weather just didn't allow for that.
Does the wind change any trips to the barber coming up?
No, it definitely doesn't. You'll see the hat next week. Detroit. I wear a bunch of them. So
Have you ever been to Boston, Garrick?
I haven't. So I spoke to Michael about it because he's from there, and I would love to. I'm a big Celtics fan, big Boston fan. No, I'm joking. But, I want to go there for sure.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate your time, and good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Now we're going to